Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your WWE Raw Recap right here on the Ringside Report Network. It is Monday, July 19th. Keith Lee back on Raw. Karrion Kross makes his Raw debut, and NiKki A.S.H is the new Raw champion. Yo! What's up, everybody? I'm Dave. This is the show. How's everybody doing tonight? Monday Night Raw in the books, another episode of Raw. First Raw with a live crowd. They definitely put in an effort tonight, right? Real effort put in by the WWE for Monday Night Raw. And I appreciated the effort. I thought the show was pretty good tonight. A lot of stuff happened. A lot of news coming out of Monday Night Raw. We'll break it all down here. NiKki A.S.H, NiKki A.S.H, NiKki A.S., Nikki Cross, whatever you want to call her. She is the new Raw Women's Champion. She beat Charlotte Flair after cashing in the Money in the Bank. She won Money in the Bank last night, cashes in tonight on Charlotte after Charlotte went through a match with Rhea Ripley. Charlotte lost by disqualification. I don't know how she lost, because I was watching here in Canada, and apparently the Canadian feed dropped out for like a couple of minutes there. We lost the end of the match. We came back, and it was like, Charlotte is disqualified. She loses, but she's still champion. And then Rhea and Charlotte brawled for a while. And then NiKki A.S.H came out and became the new Raw Women's Champion. Did a crossbody off the top after cashing in the Raw Women's, the Money in the Bank. Pinned Charlotte 1, 2, 3. John Cena was on Raw tonight. Bill Goldberg was on Raw tonight. Keith Lee returned. Hasn't been on Raw since January. Back now. And lost to Bobby Lashley. Karrion Kross, NXT champion, debuted on Raw and lost to Jeff Hardy, which is probably the shocker of the night. I mean, NiKki winning the title, that's pretty shocking, but Karrion Kross debuting. I mean, if you told me before the show tonight that Nikki Cross or NiKki A.S.H would be winning the Raw Women's title, cashing in Money in the Bank, I'd be like, yeah, all right. But if you told me that Karrion Kross would be making his Raw debut, a guy that's been booked unstoppable in NXT, make his Raw debut, and he's going to lose to Jeff Hardy in like 3 minutes, I don't know if I would have believed you. But it happened. Reginald is the new 24/7 champion. I mean, that's big news. Reginald no longer with Shayna and Nia. He's got a new adventure. And, some other stuff happened on Raw too. But very eventful. A lot of things going on, and that's what you want on Monday Night Raw. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for story progress. You're looking for build to the next show. That's what these shows are supposed to be, and they did a lot of that tonight. We'll see if they can maintain this effort over the next few months. They're coming out hot out of the gate, bringing people back, using big stars. I hope that they can maintain this enthusiasm, the WWE. First Raw out of the Thunderdome era, very, very promising. And hopefully we see more good TV from WWE. I thought SmackDown was pretty good. I thought Money in the Bank was very good. And I thought Raw tonight was very good. Give a shout out to the people in the chat. I see some members are here. Shout out to Franco316. Thought I was on vacation. I'll be on vacation on Wednesday and Thursday, Franco, and that's it. Back on Friday night with Johnny North to recap SmackDown. If you're new to the channel, I am here every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We recap Raw on Mondays, Dynamite Wednesdays. Thursday night, we talk MMA. We do the UFC thing, Bellator, whatever's going on inside the cage. Friday night, we recap SmackDown right after SmackDown. And then, of course, on the weekends, if there's a WWE pay-per-view, an AEW pay-per-view, we're on right after that. If there's a UFC pay-per-view, we do a watch-along for that. It's the Ringside Report Network. We got you covered. Shout out to Franco316. He knows the deal. Shout out to Angelo Contagonis. He knows the deal. You guys know. The members know. Jason Pete. He knows the deal. Jason Pete, member of the team. Shout out to everybody watching. Appreciate you guys tuning in tonight, whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. Don't forget to like the video. Subscribe to the channel. We want to boost those subscribers. Subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, what are you waiting for? As a matter of fact, I don't even think you can chat unless you have subscribed. So, subscribe. Very important. Also, become a member. We appreciate you. All the old school members, all the new members. And you could buy merch. Hey, while I'm at it, while I'm plugging shit, buy merch with my face on it. Where's my face? That's Fred. There's me over there. Me and AJ. That's the Ringside Report MMA team. And we are your MMA authorities, as the cup says. And you could buy this cup over at merch.ringsidereport.net. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right. Monday Night Raw. Let's start at the end. It's a good place to start, right? With NiKki A.S.H becoming the new Raw Women's Champion. I'm good with it. She won the Money in the Bank. You know, I'm good with it. I think she's a very talented wrestler. I've said it before. I'm not a really big fan of this gimmick. The superhero gimmick, the superhero in training, the almost a superhero. That's what ASH stands for, in case you're not paying close attention. It's NiKki Almost Superhero. NiKki A.S.H. For a while there, when they started, she was still Nikki Kross, just a superhero version. Then they tweaked the gimmick, and they started calling her NiKki A.S.H., but then the announcers were calling her NiKki A.S.H. I started calling her NiKki A.S., and then because I guess Jimmy Smith, maybe Corey Graves, a couple of them called her NiKki A.S., just because it's too close. You know, you say Ash a few times, it's going to come out ass once in a while. So I thought NiKki A.S. was a funny name. And now they've gone away from the Ash. Now they're strictly calling her NiKki A.S.H. You know, it's not great. Apparently it's her idea, but that doesn't mean they should let her do it. You know, I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan of the superhero gimmick. It's for children, I suppose. If it's for kids, why is it main eventing a show at 11 o'clock at night on a Monday? If it's really for kids, like, why is it on at 11 o'clock? Shouldn't her spot be at 8? I don't know who her gimmick is for. Live audience, I suppose. A lot of kids in the crowd. It's very, it's a family-friendly gimmick. But it's just a little bland. She's almost a superhero. So what is she? So why is she dressed like a superhero? If she's not a superhero, I guess she says she's got superpower. She doesn't have superpowers, but she has super spirits or some shit. It's, it's thin. There's not much there. So I don't love it. But as far as Nikki Kross, I'm a very big fan of her wrestling. I think she's fantastic. So her as champion, well-deserved, very talented. Hopefully this gimmick continues to get tweaked and it gets a little bit more interesting over time. That's all we can hope for. She cashes in Money in the Bank on Charlotte after Charlotte loses to Rhea Ripley by disqualification. Again, I have no idea what happened. The screen went black. There was nothing. They went to a commercial about sports, and then they went back, and the match was over. I don't know what happened. I think Sportsnet crapped out. I don't know. What happened, Sportsnet? I think Bob Cote said Sportsnet lost a signal for 3 minutes. I see you, Bob. Shout out to Bob. Shout out to Mako. Shout out to Lorne, all the regulars as well. JJ Mondesi. I don't know. Mako says merch sales. Maybe Nikki Kross will have good merch sales. Possibly. Possibly, right? But what is her merch? I don't think she really has gimmicks. I mean, maybe they'll start selling the mask. Are people going to be looking for that Nikki Kross mask? I have a hard time believing it. I mean, I'm going to do a quick search on WWE Shop just to see if they even have any NiKki A.S.H merch. They mushed at this point. They must have some NiKki A.S.H stuff here. No, not even. I searched for Nikki Cross, NiKki A.S.H. Look, NiKki A.S.H. This is her page on WWEshop.com. Literally nothing. They have just Nikki Cross shirts that they're selling very cheap because I guess they're going to release new shit at some point, but they have nothing. This is her entire page. Shows how much they've invested in her, I suppose. It's kind of sad, isn't it? Ouch. It's not merch, I guess. They're not selling any NiKki A.S.H merch. She's good in the ring. She seems nice. I like her, but I don't like the gimmick. Charlotte winning the title again is just, another championship for Charlotte. I don't hate her losing it so quickly after beating Rhea Ripley. She proved her point. She beat Rhea clean. She injured Rhea. Rhea was selling her knee in the match tonight. She got to have her big promo where she celebrated being champion, and now she can go after NiKki A.S.H and have a program with her. I guess. Or maybe Eva Marie goes after NiKki A.S.H. I don't know. It does change things up on Raw in the women's division for sure. But going from, Rhea Ripley, even further back, right? We had Becky Lynch as the Raw Women's Champion for a good time. Then it was Asuka for a long stretch. Then it goes to Rhea Ripley. Then Charlotte Flair. And now NiKki A.S., who's not been booked that strong, not anywhere near as strong as the previous champions I just mentioned. So it's kind of a step down for Raw Women's Championships as far as their booking goes, but in the ring, she's very, very good. Like I said, I'm a fan. It's just, there are holes in the gimmick and the booking of it, but they could fix that over time. All right, what else happened on Raw? John Cena was on Raw tonight. Cuts an in-ring promo. Cena says he's back for the people. He missed the people. They are the most important members of the universe. They are the most important superstars. The people. And the people love John Cena. Fully behind the champ. Everybody loving John Cena. And why not? John Cena says he's here for one reason, and that is to challenge for the Universal Championship at SummerSlam. And he's not happy about it. He's here because Roman Reigns is an asshole. That's what Cena said. He says Roman is overprotected with an overhyped gimmick that's not as over as he thinks he is. Like, Cena was going pretty hard on Roman, and Cena says, and that's coming from me, who, one of the most protected guys, kind of overhyped, shoved down your throats guys in the company's history, and now he's saying Roman is like a step too far.
Super chat.
Cena says he's going to be at SmackDown on Friday. Hell of a promo from Cena. Kind of ended awkwardly with Matt Riddle coming out, and they just said bro to each other for a while. Classic Cena, just co-opting a hot gimmick to try and get himself more over, but in the process winds up looking corny and winds up making the hot gimmick, this time Riddle, look a little corny in the process too. But that's what Cena's done his whole career, kind of, whoever's hot on the show, he'll be like, hey, we're buddies, right? We've always been really good friends. I'm this guy's number one fan. I always have been. And, we do his gimmick together. I kind of helped him come up with it, actually, So when you're cheering for him, you're actually cheering for me. Cena's a mastermind at doing that. And he did it to Riddle tonight. And, of course, the guy in the Riddle's position is like, Cena thinks I'm really good? This is amazing. Like, Cena did it to Cesaro. He did it to a bunch of guys, right? Stands next to the guy who's hot at the moment, and he's like, this guy's awesome. I'm telling you, this guy is going to be great one day. when I let him. You know, I'm not going to push for it that hard. Push for myself. You know, so I didn't love that because it kind of reminded me of the Cena reign and kind of what Cena does, the Riddle part. But before that, I thought it was really good. They could have skipped the Riddle thing. Who dropped a super chat? Oh, what? Oh. Oh, I didn't know that. Harold Schneider says, rest in peace, Jay Teven. I know you work with his dad. Yeah, of course, Ted Teven. I didn't know Jay passed away. Ah. Usually super chats are good news. That's the worst super chat I ever got. Thanks for the news, though, Harold. I had no idea Jay, I'm friends with him on Facebook. I see him post all the time. Well, that's sad. Rest in peace to Jay Teven. He was a good man. Looked a lot like his dad. Sounded a lot like his dad. Well, that is sad. When did that happen? Huh. Well, my condolences to the Teven family. Oh, that's sad. I did not know that. I did not know that. Ted Teven was a legend. I'm bummed out now. I didn't know. Well. All right, let's get back to business. Not everybody knows what I'm talking about, but thank you, Harold. Appreciate the heads up on that. And again, my condolences to the Teven family. Huh. Yeah, Ted was very good to me when I was starting out broadcasting and stuff. Ted Teven got me started. The reason why this show exists in a large part is because of Ted Teven. So yeah, and I used to work. I was like the technical producer for Ted Teven and his show, and it was on Sunday nights on the radio. And when the show was over, and the crazy thing about Ted was you never knew when the show might be over. Could be over in an hour if he felt like it. It could be 3 or 4 hours. You never knew how long it would go. And the show didn't start till like 11 o'clock at night, so it could have been, you're there till midnight or you're there till 3 in the morning. Depends how Ted feels, if he gets on a roll, if somebody calls in, if he has a guest. You never knew what would happen. The radio station would get mad. It'd be like, he's got like an hour, maybe 2 hours max that we'll give him, but like he can't go on. And I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? It's Ted Teven. I was a young kid and he was a broadcasting legend, And then we would call Jay after the show. After every show on Sunday night, we would call Jay because Jay would be listening. And I would talk to Jay, and of course Ted would talk to Jay for a while, and then Ted would drive me home. So Ted Teven was like, he taught me a lot. He was like a mentor of sorts to me. And Jay was right there. So that's sad that Ted's son passed away. Jay was good. Jay was always nice to me after Ted passed away. Kept in contact from time to time. Like I said on Facebook, yeah. Shit. Well, thank you, Harold Schneider, for the info. Lauren Cronish, your uncle was his lawyer. Is Ted's lawyer? Who was Ted's lawyer? What was his name? Cookie? Was your uncle's name Cookie? Lauren, let me know if your uncle was Cookie. Lauren, he's got stories about Ted. I've got stories about Ted too, Lauren. I could tell you some stories about Ted that I would never, ever, I don't know, I can't tell them now. I can't tell them. Some of them are pretty wild. Ted told me some crazy shit. Ted Teven was like a legend in Montreal. Legend in broadcasting. And he told me a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. Some of the stuff I couldn't believe, but I knew it was true, Mel, okay. Thought it was a guy named Cookie somewhere. I don't know. Who knows? All right, we got to get back to pro wrestling, guys. Thank you, Harold, for the super chat. You are the super chat leader of the night. Hard to top that super chat, Harold. Good God Almighty. Harold's super chat brought the whole show to a halt. Harold, you're gone. All right? You're gone. All right. So Riddle and the Viking Raiders wrestled a match against John Morrison, AJ Styles, and Omos. Riddle at one point sprays Omos with the drip stick, which is like a water pistol that they pump at people, Miz and Morrison. Morrison is calling himself Johnny Drip Drip, Johnny Drip Drip, and he was also sporting a t-shirt that says America's Moist Wanted. So he's doing the whole wet thing. He's taking the drip literally with water. I don't know if Morrison understands what they mean when they say drip, but he's taking it to a different level. Like, drip is kind of like, like a swag, like how you look, like drip. When people are talking about like Ric Flair drip, they're not talking about like Ric Flair, spraying water at somebody or dripping out of his ass or whatever, or probably not his ass, but you know what I mean. When they say Ric Flair drip, they're talking about, the Ric Flair style, the Ric Flair flavor. But Morrison's taking it literally with a lot of water, and now he's calling himself America's Moist Wanted. It's strange. It's like he knows, but he doesn't know. So then Riddle sprays Omos with the drip stick. Omos thought it was Morrison and tossed Morrison into the ring to take the Viking experience and then lose the match. So Riddle was against Omos, right? I'm hearing some weird shit. You guys hearing that? That's just me. That's just me. I hear voices like Randy Orton. So Riddle, he sprays Omos with the drip stick, the water pistol. Omos gets mad, thinks it's Morrison, chases after Morrison, grabs him, throws him in the ring. Morrison takes the finish while Omos is chasing down the Miz because he's like mad at Miz. Or maybe he thought the Miz was doing it. I don't know. Omos got mad and confused. And then AJ Styles was trying to get between them. So AJ and Omos were distracted and doing other things with the Miz while John Morrison took the finish from the Viking Raiders. It was a lot going on for nothing. For nothing. Riddle and the Raiders beat Morrison, AJ, and Omos. It was a lot of nothing. Viking Raiders are going to challenge AJ and Omos for the tag titles next week. I don't think they'll win. And even if they do, I don't really care. That was kind of a nothing six-man tag. The Jackson Riker Elias match was interesting. It was called the Symphony of Destruction match, and they just had musical instruments all around the ring to use as weapons. It was a Falls Count Anywhere hardcore match with weapons, with musical weapons. Riker smacked Elias with a keyboard, tossed him into a drum kit, a gong, smashed a guitar over Elias. Elias broke a cello over Riker at one point for a 2 count only. Like a giant cello thing. He's like smashing it over his back. 2 count. It was pretty wild. It looked kind of rough. Elias's back was all marked up. He was bleeding from his head. This was the greatest Elias match I've ever seen. Jackson Riker winds up winning after he superplexes Elias from inside the ring, the top rope, to outside the ring, through 2 tables, 1, 2, 3, match over. Best Jackson Riker match I've ever seen, best Elias match I've ever seen. Jackson Riker hasn't been around for that long, but like we've seen a lot of Elias matches. This was by far the best. Can anybody name me a better Elias match than what we saw tonight? I don't think so. I was waiting, but obviously nobody's going to answer. Very good match. I thought it was really good. And this is me talking about Jackson Riker versus Elias. And it was good. Imagine that. Like, this was actually fun to watch. I enjoyed this. Then it was Mansoor backstage with Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce. Mustafa Ali showed up. And Mansoor wants to be his tag team partner. Mustafa doesn't really want to do it, but then he kind of accepts, so I guess they're going to be a tag team now. Another tag team that doesn't want to be together, but hey, why not? But really, that Riker-Elias match was surprisingly good. Riker also said before the match that when he's done with him, you'll never hear the words, "Hello, I am Elias," ever again. Did he mean that? Is Elias really never going to do that same promo over and over again, or why did he say that? I think this might be a break in the Elias character. I think we might see something different from Elias, maybe a repackage or a release. I mean, who knows? I don't know. It was weird. It was weird the way Jackson Riker cut that promo on Elias and then just beats him again here. In a good match, but like, you know, I don't know. This match had some strange vibe. I think Elias might be changing it up. Or maybe they move him to SmackDown, they disappear him for a while. I don't know. It was odd. But maybe Elias will just be back doing the same old shit next week. Who knows? WWE sometimes teases one thing and then just abandons it. Jason Pete says he didn't watch Raw, but he did see WWE tweeting that Goldberg was there. Yeah, Goldberg was on Raw. We'll get to that in a second. Donovan says WWE released a new Braun Strowman shirt today. Yeah, I saw that, which was weird. Is Braun Strowman coming back? Zelina Vega came back. Why not? Why not Braun Strowman? Goldberg did come back. But not before Keith Lee came back. So Bobby Lashley cuts an in-ring promo with MVP, talks about beating Kofi at Money in the Bank, and MVP says Bobby did lose his edge, but it was the women and the champagne that were always there, and the good life ruining Bobby and making him lose his edge, but now he's refocused and ready to go. And Bobby wants to know who's going to accept his open challenge tonight. And Keith Lee shows up looking gigantic. Did Keith Lee gain like 100 pounds since we last saw him? Or why did he look so big? He looked bigger than ever, right? Was that just me? He looked way bigger than Bobby. He just looked thick. He looked so big. He's always been, you know, a big dude, but he looked like near 400 pounds tonight. He looked massive. It was impressive. And then he lost to Bobby after a spear. The match was, you know, all right. At one point, Keith Lee kind of, you could tell him and Bobby had some miscommunication there. He tried to lift Bobby up for a power bomb, and Bobby kind of jumped, but Keith Lee was like, wasn't ready, and then they clearly just tried it again. Bobby bounced off the ropes, and Lee lifted him up in the powerbomb position again. A little sloppy, you know? But overall, fun to watch. Some nice power stuff from Keith Lee. Bobby looked like he really was struggling to lift him up over his shoulders. Like, he tried to do a fireman's carry at one point. He could barely lift up Keith Lee. Keith Lee looked huge tonight. Huge. And Bobby Lashley hits a spear and pins him. 1, 2, 3, middle of the ring. Why? Keith Lee hasn't been on TV since January. He comes back tonight, and Bobby Lashley just beats him? It tells you all you need to know about what WWE thinks of Keith Lee right now, right? Maybe they kept him off TV because they were just not interested. Maybe they should have just released him altogether so he could do something. I mean, why? At least have MVP do something. Have MVP do what he's done to everybody else and grab the leg so Bobby could do the spear. Keith Lee in the corner setting something up, whatever. MVP grabs his leg, Bobby runs in, spears him. Something. MVP yells at Keith Lee, "Hey, Keith Lee, did you gain 100 pounds? You look gigantic, man." Keith Lee, huh? Bobby Lashley spears him. Something. This was just Bobby Lashley spears him, 1, 2, 3, middle of the ring. How is that a big return? I get you're trying to shock us and surprise us, but you also got to think, like, isn't this guy a star that you want to build? Don't you want to do something for Keith Lee? I guess not. Or maybe it's at the expense of Bobby Lashley, because, of course, you got to build Bobby Lashley to make him really strong for Goldberg. Goldberg showed up after this. After Bobby's match with Keith Lee, Bobby, by the way, bleeding from his cauliflower ear after the match, Goldberg shows up and says, "I'm next." And then MVP stops Bobby Lashley from killing Bill Goldberg. MVP looked like legit mad. I don't know if you guys noticed, but when Goldberg's music hit, the camera's on MVP, and you could see him mouth, "Fuck." Like, he starts saying fuck. Maybe he was saying fuck Goldberg. Maybe he was saying fuck off. I don't know what he was saying. But he said fuck, and then the camera just cut right away from Bobby. And Bobby looked incensed when Goldberg came in there. He did a great job of looking really mad. Maybe he was mad. Bobby Lashley is everything Bill Goldberg pretends to be. A legitimate badass with an actual record. Goldberg has done some Muay Thai classes and acts like he's won world championships. The only world championship he's won is the WCW World Championship, man. He hasn't actually won anything. But in his everyday life, he acts like he's George St. Pierre or Chuck Liddell or Randy Couture. He's not at all. He pretends to be and has always pretended to be. Bill Goldberg is pro wrestling Steven Seagal. Like, yeah, he's like kind of tough and like, I guess, like, you know, Seagal can kind of do his little shit, but come on now. Nobody really believes in Steven Seagal's bullshit, and you shouldn't believe in Goldberg's either. You could see what Bobby Lashley is about. I've seen Bobby Lashley fight competitively in mixed martial arts. We know Bobby Lashley has a legitimate amateur wrestling background. Bobby Lashley is a fucking animal. Even now, in his 40s, he looks huge. Huge. Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg, it's not even competitive. Never was, never would be. Bobby Lashley would decimate Goldberg, and I kind of want to see him do it. I kind of want to see Bobby Lashley kill Bill Goldberg. Kill Bill Goldberg. Goldberg is terrible. Always has been terrible. Always will be terrible. He's the worst there is, worst there was, worst there ever will be. Bill Goldberg. He kicked Bret Hart in the head, ended his goddamn career. He's a shitty wrestler. He was never good. I don't know why WWE keeps going back to this fucking guy. He's terrible. I hope Bobby kills him. Kill Bobby, kill. I mean, I don't really want Goldberg to die, but I do want him to be so hurt that he's like, maybe I shouldn't wrestle anymore, guys. Maybe this is a bad idea. I want Bobby to beat him up badly. I want Goldberg to bleed. I want blood. Goldberg is just so awful. He's never been good. This is the thing. I don't understand why WWE rolls out the red carpet for this fucking guy. He's never been good. I'm tired of watching him. I'm tired of WWE going back to the Goldberg well. They keep doing it. They're like, shit, what do we do? Goldberg? And he's like, all right, I'll come. Who's next? Terrible. As a diehard Bret Hart fan who loves Bret Hart and knows that Bret Hart is the greatest wrestler of all time, it kills me that this worthless motherfucker who couldn't lace Bret's boots gets to still walk around and make paychecks in a business that he shouldn't even be in alongside Bret Hart. This guy doesn't even deserve to breathe Bret's air. Fucking Goldberg. 54 years old and still wrestling. Bret didn't get to wrestle at 54 because Bill Goldberg is a shitty fucking wrestler who didn't know how to pull his kicks. You know why? Because he's a shit martial artist who has no fucking control over his weapons. Yeah, he's big and strong, but he's got no fucking skill or technique. He's a joke. He's fake. Goldberg is as fake as it gets. Fake-ass Bill Goldberg. Guys like Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar and Ken Shamrock, they laugh at guys like Bill Goldberg. Not to his face. They say, oh, Bill. Yeah, you're tough, man. Oh, I wouldn't want to fight you, Bill. Yeah. Then behind their fucking Bill's back, they're like, fucking Goldberg. Imagine what we do to that guy. Guys like Bobby Lashley fucking laugh at Goldberg. Bobby Lashley is legit as fuck. Don't mess with Roberto Lashley. Is he Francis Ngannou? Is he Stipe Miocic? Is he Daniel Cormier? No. Is he even Brock Lesnar? No. But is he 10 times the pro wrestler and legit badass that Bill Goldberg is? Oh, hell yeah. 15-2 as a professional in mixed martial arts. Bobby Lashley, 45 years old, looks like a monster. Still. The almighty Bobby Lashley. I know Bobby is supposed to be Super chat. The heel, but to me, to the Wrestling Uncensored universe, Bobby's the babyface in this one. Fuck Goldberg. Angelo dropping the super chat. Dave's passion on full display tonight. Well, this is what happens when you leave me alone without Johnny North so I could go hard on Goldberg. Because my boy Johnny loves him some Bill Goldberg. And I know there are Goldberg marks out there. I said it. Goldberg marks out there who do like Goldberg. But I cannot understand how Johnny North, also a diehard Bret Hart fan, still has some love in his heart for Bill Goldberg, who absolutely sucks. And WWE keeps rolling out the red carpet for this guy. At least we know that Goldberg's only here because Brock Lesnar didn't want to come. They said, hey, Brock, you want to come and lose to Bobby Lashley at SummerSlam? He's like, for how much? They're like, $650,000. Brock's like, no. Click. End of conversation. They call Goldberg. Hey, Bill. Listen, Brock said no. Do you want to come wrestle Bobby Lashley at SummerSlam and lose to him? Well, how much? 300,000. I'll be there. Actual negotiations. That's how it happened. All right? He's a fucking B-level Brock Lesnar. When they can't get Brock, they call Goldberg. I'd rather see Brock Lesnar, but even then, why do they have to keep going back to these guys? Why do they have to keep going back to the Goldbergs, the Cenas? You know? They try to use these guys now to build the new guys, and it doesn't really work. The only guy they've managed to build up into a legitimate superstar at this point in the past 5 to 7 years is Roman Reigns. He's the only guy they've made. And they have done everything to make him. Given him main event after main event, WrestleMania main event, Royal Rumble win, World Championship after World Championship, win after win, protection after protection, like John Cena said. They have done so much to make Roman Reigns, they have forsaken everybody else. On the men's side, anyways. They've made some women stars in the past few years, you know, and that's great. And that's why the women main evented tonight, because they're the only legitimate stars in the WWE right now. The men's side, they got Roman. And they got Seth, who's a byproduct of Roman. They don't have anything else. So that's why they keep going back to Cena and Goldberg and Brock and Taker and Triple H and whoever the fuck. Because they have nobody else. Because they haven't built anybody else. Because when guys like Keith Lee come back after 7 months away, they lose to Bobby Lashley. Clean. When Karrion Kross, who's built like a superstar monster like Brock Lesnar in NXT, just crushing everybody. This guy crushed everybody in NXT, became champion, got hurt, came back, crushed everybody, became champion again. This guy's unstoppable in NXT. His first night on Raw, he loses to Jeff Hardy, who's older in his career, been there, done that, does not need the win. Doesn't need it at all. Okay, Jeff cheated to win. Why is a babyface cheating to win? This is a spot where Karrion Kross comes in, gets his shit in, and wins clean 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. That's how you build stars. He's been unstoppable in NXT. You bring him up to Raw, and you keep him unstoppable for as long as you possibly can until you can find a reason to beat him. You don't just put him flat on his back for 3 seconds on his first night in 3 minutes. It's not rocket science. I don't understand how they fuck this up so consistently. And that's why they have to bring back Goldberg. And that's why we're subjected to Goldberg. Because back then they knew how to build stars. Goldberg didn't lose ever. Karrion Kross is the opposite of Goldberg. The way they build stars now is they don't. They just have them lose. The way they used to build stars is they debut them, they'd win some, lower level matches, and then they would keep ascending up the card depending how far you wanted them up on the card at any given moment. Of course, Goldberg went all the way to the top with that ridiculous undefeated streak where Karrion Kross is 0-1. Goldberg went like 10,000-0. Karrion Kross 0-1. And you wonder why they can't build stars for the next generation and why they keep going back to stars from the 1990s. The 90s was a long fucking time ago. And we're still going back. Mako says they were booing him big. Were they booing Or Roman or Goldberg. I don't know. People were booing Roman Reigns for sure. He's a heel now. You're supposed to boo him. Again, the Texas crowd, is good. Hot crowd, excited. But I'm looking forward to some different crowds for WWE. I don't know when they go back to Chicago, New York. Some of those places, I know they're going to the UK. I look forward to seeing them in front of those crowds, how those crowds react to the product right now. Crowd's not too into Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre showed up, beat the shit out of Shanky. Poor Shanky. Jinder Mahal cut a promo with his goons, Veer and Shanky, telling us about why he hates Drew McIntyre. Of course, they've been doing things to each other. Drew didn't want to go motorcycle riding with Jinder. Jinder got mad. Drew broke Jinder's motorcycle, and then Jinder attacked him at Money in the Bank. And now it was Jinder's birthday, so Jinder had Shanky sing happy birthday. So Shanky had to sing. I don't know why Veer didn't have to sing. Shanky's the tall one. And then Drew shows up with a steel chair, hits Jinder once, hit Veer once. Veer and Jinder just bail. Shanky stays in the ring and took 30, 40 chair shots from Drew McIntyre. Drew broke 2 chairs on this guy. This guy took a vicious beating. What did Shanky do? I don't think anybody took a worse beating on Raw tonight than Shanky. Poor Shanky. Justice for Shanky. I guess that's Jinder's gimmick. He has goons that just take a bunch of punishment for him. And tonight it was Shanky's turn, not Veer. Veer was fine. Jinder and Veer just kind of watched Shanky get his ass kicked by Drew. 2 chairs. Poor Shanky. What is Mako saying? I don't even understand what you're saying, Mako. Roman. Yeah, Roman is a star. Yeah, but he's a big star. He could be booed and stuff. That's fine. He wasn't a big babyface, but John Cena didn't get pure babyface cheers either. Roman is a legitimate star that they've made. He's a guy that people know. It's not about whether he's universally loved. He's a guy that's been made into a guy that's booked really strong where you could believe him winning, and B, he's got the aura, he's got the notoriety, he's starting to get into some movies. He's a legitimate star. The women's side has some stars, but Roman is the biggest male star that the WWE has made in several years, by far. I don't think that's really debatable. Natty and Tamina beat Nia Jax and Shayna. Reginald got on the apron at one point to distract Tamina, who was on the top rope. Natty then got into Reginald's face. Shayna kicked Natty, which distracted her and led to Tamina kicking Shayna in the face for the 1-2-3. Shayna, of course, blamed Reginald after the match. That whole thing. She was mad at Reggie. And then Nia kind of teased she was going to stick with Reggie. She hugged Reggie, but then she pushed him down, abandoning Reginald. And the fans started chanting, "Reggie sucks," kicking the man while he was down. Reggie sucks, as Nia and Shayna leave. Akira Tozawa runs down to the ring, getting chased down by the Job Squad. They all kind of trip on each other. Tozawa's in the ring by himself with Reginald. Reginald attacks, flips around the ring, and pins Tozawa for the 3 count. Reginald is the new 24/7 champion. And then Reginald flips and flies away from the Job Squad and escapes, still 24/7 champion. So that's what they're doing with Reginald. And then the crowd started chanting, "Reggie, Reggie, Reggie." Fickle, like Daniel Bryan used to say, right? Fickle, fickle, fickle. He gets dropped by Nia and Shayna. Crowd chants, "Reggie sucks." He does a couple flips, wins the 24/7 title. All of a sudden, crowd is chanting for Reggie. So Reggie is the new 24/7 champion. Sheamus continued to do the same old shit. He beat Humberto Carrillo via pinfall after a brogue kick to retain the U.S. title. Solid match. We've seen it before. I don't know what the point of this was. I don't know what Sheamus is going to do next. Maybe he feuds with Keith Lee. That seems to be a logical step. Keith Lee can't beat the WWE champion. He tried and failed. Maybe try for the U.S. champion. Sheamus and Keith Lee, I think, would have some great matches. Alexa Bliss did a promo from her playground. Eva Marie and Doudrop showed up. Lily the doll is back, too, in Alexa's playground, which is kind of annoying. I thought we were done with that, but we're not. I guess they want to sell some dolls. Alexa seems to want a match with Eva Marie, but doesn't want Doudrop to be there. And I think they agreed to it. And then as Eva was leaving, she tripped on nothing and fell down. I guess it was some sort of voodoo trip that Alexa did to Eva Marie, which, not good. And I thought they set up this match for later on in the show, but apparently not. I guess next week we'll see Alexa versus Eva Marie. I can't imagine anybody is, anticipating that one. Is anybody excited about that? Alexa versus Eva Marie. We also have Viking Raiders versus AJ and Omos set for the tag team titles next week. Mansoor and Mustafa Ali will team up, apparently, in some kind of match. Eventful Raw tonight. We got a new Raw Women's Champion in NiKki A.S.H. We got a new 24/7 champion in Reginald. John Cena officially challenged Roman Reigns for SummerSlam for the Universal title. Goldberg showed up to confront Bobby Lashley, likely challenging him for the WWE title at SummerSlam. Keith Lee shows up and loses, strangely, to Bobby right away, clean, without any MVP interference, which, Karrion Kross makes his Raw debut and loses to Jeff Hardy after Jeff Hardy cheats with his feet on the ropes for no reason in particular. Just to win, Karrion Kross versus Jeff Hardy probably have a, decent feud, but I feel like Jeff Hardy hasn't been booked that strong, and Karrion Kross should just run over him in his first match, like he's been running over everybody else in NXT. But it just shows you that they don't give a shit about NXT. Once you get on the main roster, none of that matters. Even if you're still NXT champion. Shouldn't Jeff Hardy be the NXT champion now? He beat Karrion Kross. Not good. Not good. Eventful Raw, but some really weird booking decisions, right? Like, it was kind of fun to watch, but you were scratching your head a lot of the shit that they did. Goldberg, why is Goldberg still around? Why did Keith Lee lose his return match? Kind of like what they did to Zelina Vega, right, when she lost to Liv Morgan. Why did Karrion Kross lose his debut match? Why? Why is the 24/7 title still a thing? And why is Reginald doing it and not R-Truth? Why did they bring back Lily the doll for Alexa Bliss? But ultimately, why Goldberg? Why NiKki A.S.H? I mean, that's fine for me. I don't really question that. Why John Cena? Because he's John Cena, and John Cena Roman Reigns is a big match. But why Goldberg? I mean, I guess he's got fans and people like Goldberg. Clearly, I'm not a big fan. I want to thank Angelo. Once again, you are the Super Chat leader of the night. Angelo, thank you for the Super Chat. Thank you, Harold Schneider, as well, for the news and the Super Chat. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. And I will be back on Friday. Right? Friday. Taking a little vacation. I'll be back Friday. So no post-Dynamite show, no MMA show this week. I'll be back Friday night to recap SmackDown with Johnny North. All right? Shout out to all the members. Appreciate you guys checking in. Franco, Angelo, Jason Pete out in Mexico. All around the world, the team is here. I think those are the only members I saw tonight. Of course, Harold. Harold is a member as well. Harold, Angelo, Franco, Jason. Thank you guys for checking in. Thank you, everybody, for watching the show. Appreciate you. I'll be back, like I said, on Friday. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Do all the things.